Hey, Coach, are you always looking for a way to give your team a competitive advantage? Let me introduce you to Winning Edge Performance Analytics. Our technology captures comprehensive game data using your terminology and provides you with in-game analytics. In real time, you're able to quickly assess your opponent's tendencies and perform self-scout on the sidelines. Winning Edge is designed to help you spot more opportunities during the game so that you're not left wishing you'd noticed something during film review. Plus, Winning Edge automates film tagging, so you can say goodbye to hours of manually tagging over the weekend and get more time with your family. Our product is also budget friendly for programs of any size. And as a Coaching 101 listener, you'll get a 20% discount off your first year with promo code 20OFF Coaching 101. All one word, no spaces. If more family time and more wins sound good, visit winningedgeperformanceanalytics.com to schedule a demo. We'll help get your team the advantage that you're looking for.
This podcast is powered by Team Builder Practice. Team Builder Practice is all the things you love about Team Builder's OG strength and conditioning software, but for football coaches. Keep practice plans in one central location, stay organized, and share plans with your whole staff with our software. Designed with the football coach in mind. Team Builder Practice is offering a 30-day trial to all listeners with the code COACH101. Head to teambuilder.com/practice to start your trial and get access to a complimentary football video drill library to help jumpstart your planning. Football library is available with purchase after the trial. Football made simple. Become great at your craft by finding ways to make it simple for those around you. This is the Coaching 101 podcast hosted by Find a Way Productions with your co-host, Daniel Chamberlain and Kenny Simpson. All right, we are live. Good morning, guys. Back for round 2 or 3, or I've lost count. We are at the Texas High School Coach Association down at Coaching School in San Antonio, Texas, joined by Adam Harvey. Adam is he's been on the show before. Coach, we've met in Nashville, we've met in San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
Neither place I live, but you're from around here, right?
I am, yeah, about 40 minutes north here.
Yeah, so coming to his hometown. There we go. They got to come down here and get an interview. So
yes, sir.
Real quick, Ace Sports guys, if you aren't happy with the way you're fundraising, if you continuously find yourself short on whatever it is, your big dream, big ticket items, look, some people use Ace Sports to get into turf. Some people use it to revamp a stadium. Some people use it to whatever you need. There's an option out there for you with Ace Sports. Fully customizable boards. If you need to dress up the side of it, you just want a square board, get a square board. You want your name on top, do that. You want it to look like a stinking castle around it, maybe there's a application for you. So I was sitting with the owner, Jason, last night. I was sitting at dinner, and he was just showing me pictures of some amazing builds out there they've done for different schools. So there is a level of awesome for everyone, regardless of what your budget is, regardless of how big your school is. Don't think that like your school is too small to go get a video board. There is an application for you, acesports.com. You can DM me, you can text me, you can email me. Mark.Bridges at Ace Sports is the other email. Mark will hook you up. Ryan, if you're in the Oklahoma, man, I forgot all his places. Kansas, Missouri, on and on and on and on. Mark, you trying to take my other coffee? Is that what's going on right now? It's mine, but you can have it. Getting thefted right here while I'm live. Thefted of my second coffee. Anyway, acesports.com. Coach, let's talk some ball, man. First
Absolutely.
of all, you'll have to reintroduce yourself because, podcast listeners are like flies, like the rest of us. We have a short memory span.
Well, there's a few out there, right? A few options.
So many stinking podcasts.
There are.
Everyone has a podcast.
Right. I know. I remember when podcasts became a thing. In fact, I'm just coming in from an interview upstairs of a guy that's been doing podcasts for 21 years. I'm like, man, you're an OG.
He did radio. That's what that was called.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's cool. Yeah. Adam Harvey. I've been in the state of Texas pretty much my entire career. Spent a couple years in the state of Indiana when I thought I wanted to be a basketball coach, and then realized, man, these guys don't play football up here. No offense to you guys in Indiana or the Midwest. It was football. It's just not Texas.
Right.
And so moved back in 2005 and actually moved to San Antonio and have been in South Texas or Central Texas really ever since. So going on 20 years, just past 20 years, I guess, exactly. And, got my first head job just about a year and a half ago and absolutely loving the head life. But at the same time, we're building a school. So that's a lot. It's a lot of work, but a lot of fun, and we're just trying to take it one day at a time right now as we continue to, to build it like we want it, and all that comes with that. So it's been good.
We had Coach Melton on in the last little session there, and you guys are listening later. I probably released it last week, but he was kind of talking about that first couple of years, 3 wins, but now he's everything's going right. But you got to get that, you got to get it installed.
Yeah, man.
Whether it's your scheme, your culture, your identity, whatever it is.
100%. The foundation, right, is what it is. I think one of the misnomers, and coaches can talk scheme, all the time, right? I can too. I love to get on the whiteboard, love to talk ball. But you can't overlook culture, and in the moment you do, I think you're selling yourself short, you're selling your kids short, and that's something in the program piece that is extremely important. And so, that's what we're able to do right now. Is we start with freshmen and sophomores in 2024, and we'll add juniors here in 25. And so, just really making sure that the standard is the standard, And I'm a huge Tim Kite fan. Unfortunately, he passed last summer, I guess it was. So Brian and I still keep up with a lot of his stuff, but one of the things that Tim Kite did a great job, I felt like, preaching with the E plus R equals O and whatnot, is like, there's 4 stages, and it's a famous philosopher, I can't remember his name at the moment, in the 60s that came out with like, there's 4 different stages of building a culture, right? You got to form, you got to storm, you got to norm, and then you got to perform, right? So it's kind of cool, like, we're really breaking that up, and year 1 was all about forming. What do we want the culture to look like? What's that standard look like? Now we're entering the storm, right? So the fun really begins. But it's been good, man. Like, our kids have bought in, our parents have bought in. It's the oldest school district in the state of Texas, and yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, we're pretty proud of all things athletics in Texas, but football, it's deep. So that school that we branched off from, if you will. Cliff Kingsbury is probably the most notable alum, but they've had some ball players, and been rich in baseball, been really good in football, and so we're just hoping to not necessarily live in the shadows, but kind of build off of what they've already had done for 180 years. That's how old the school district was, and they're the unicorns, right? So here we are, the Dragons, staying with the mythical theme, and
I love it.
Trying to form our own culture within the midst of New Braunfels ISD and all that comes with it.
I mean, if you can rep a unicorn for 180 years and do good, hey, you've got it going on. I want to learn from that kind of guy too. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Coach. Man, going into your first year here, kind of what are some of the drawbacks you've seen? And if it's too much put out on the air, I get it.
Yeah.
But guys are going to take first-time head coaching jobs, and what is it like? What was the thing that surprised you as you jumped into those waters?
Man, not to divert at all, but I really tried to minimize expectations. I think we can cripple ourselves with expectations, right? Like, I'm as competitive as they come. Aren't we all? We're coaches.
Right.
But I really wanted to make sure that while I have goals and I had, aspirations as, not only to become a head coach, but then what does it look like once you finally get the gig? But I really wanted to kind of divert all of those expectations into literally take it one day at a time, right? So, there's challenges for sure, being a first-time head coach, but I've got a lot of challenges for me personally because we're opening a school. So it's hard to really compare, I think, and, I always want to give advice. What I would say, I think above all, it would be who you are, man. Like, take what you've seen that has worked in other programs for sure, but don't emulate it so much that you don't make it your own, and your kids aren't the same kids from where you came from. So
right.
Be able to tailor your program, be able to tailor your philosophy, and that goes all the way from culture to X's and O's, and make it your own, and then make sure your kids are able to buy into it, right? Like, speak with clarity, make sure they, again, go into the forming, storming, norming, and performing piece. Like, whatever you form, you're going to have to enter that storm to figure out what comes out of that, right? Like, strain it and make sure that as you strain it, turn over every stone, leave no stone unturned, so that your norms are exactly what you wanted from the get-go. And some of it's going to work well. Some of it that you thought would be maybe a staple, it may not be.
It may not work at all.
It may not be because of the culture of the the community that you're in, right? So I would just say, man, like, have expectations, but don't allow those expectations to just overrun you, right? Because you're going to have to make adjustments.
Two things come to mind as I'm listening to you talk about forming, storming, norming, and performing, and that, Mike Tyson's quote, of course, famously, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, your culture on paper looks amazing. You write up a big thing. It's a book. You've got it all ready. Who cares, man? You get hit in the face the first time. How are you going to react? Does your plan even make it through the fight, right? I think
Absolutely.
that's big time. So going into a second year, I'm anxious to see kind of what changes for you, what doesn't stick around, what do you got to trim the fat. And then I had another one and I forgot it because that's how life works. But anyway, I always think that's really neat to hear you having that plan at least. A lot of guys wouldn't even think about that. Like, what am I going to do if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't take hold with these kids, these parents, this community? That's a real thing. It
is, man. Well, and that's, wow. Like, going back to Kite for a second, and this steps on a lot of coaches' toes, but I think sometimes I'm a coach. I'll be a part of this. We're the most uncoachable people you can run across.
Yeah.
Man, that's dangerous, right?
If I'm a consultant of football, I understand.
100%.
The people that pay you to come teach them don't listen to you. So.
I tell you, man. And so going back to that piece, like if you're working on Saturday and Sunday and you've got the best game plan known to man, and you happen to be like Cibolo Still in 2016, well, Sean Robinson is spinning it to LaVishka Chenault and Katie Nixon. Well, these dudes are dudes just like we had. You better come up with something else, because when Sean Robinson lets go of football and it's on a rope, no matter what coverage you're in, right? Like, you got to figure out ways to, again, put aside your pride and the things that you might have thought would work. And, that goes for really any ball game. But that's life, right? Like, I've had to make adjustments in my marriage that weren't fun. And had I not done that, I wouldn't be wearing a ring right now, right? And so, man, that's just where it is. Like, I want to make sure. So kind of going back to your point too, like, we want to create competitors more than winners. And I think a lot of times that's, whoa, hold on, we got to win. And you're obviously in the state of Texas, if I don't win, I'm not going to have a job very long. But man, I want to teach kids how to compete, because at some point you're going to compete for a spouse. And guess what? You're not going to win every one of those, those women, right? And then you're going to have to compete for your kids. And what I mean by that is I got 2 teenagers at home. I have to compete for their time.
Yeah.
Because the moment we get home, and it's not, hey,
Nintendo, Netflix.
Bingo.
I mean, there's a screen out there for all ages nowadays, right?
Well, speaking of age, you just aged yourself. There is no Nintendo. It's all PS5. And
hey, Nintendo Switch, baby. They just put out number 2.
There you go.
So,
well, what do I know?
Welcome back in the fray. Thank you, Nintendo.
That's funny. Yeah, it's so true, though. Like, we compete for our kids' time now, and so, like, what am I going to do as a father to like, spend time with my teenage boys, who, by the way, are completely different, right? So there's such a competition factor that goes into that we could easily turn a blind eye to. It's just not my DNA. I want to compete, right? And man, I've failed along the way more than I've been successful, and it's way okay, right? And a lot of people are like, whoa, hang on, like, don't tell people it took you 13 times to get a head job. Where I'm like, it took me 13 times, and I'm way okay with that. That one that I won, I'm going to make sure that I do it right. I'm going to make sure that we're successful. And I'm going to use the words that a lot of people might be afraid to use at times, right? Like, we want to be elite. Well, what does that mean? That means the absolute best. Does that mean we're going to get there? I would hope so one day. It's all about a mindset, right? Like, we talked in Nashville about press coverage. It's about a mindset. Well, I don't have the dudes to do that. Well, teach them how to coach. Teach them how to teach them how.
We had Dominic Franks come on. I don't know if this show or the other, may have been in the other podcast, and I never heard that stuff in my life, and I played DB, you know what I mean? Like, he was teaching, it was so simple. Like, those things can be taught. While we're on the idea of scheme here for a minute, I just want to point out, and you talk about raise your hand being in the boat, 100% me. Your scheme isn't going to save every school. So you talked about 13 attempts to get a head coach. I think I'm at 6, still ain't got the job, and that's okay. It's probably for the better, honestly. Yeah. I go in, I learn what I'm doing wrong, Absolutely. I come out and I polish it up, and we'll go back and try again. But your scheme can't save everyone, right? And when we're talking today, when Coach Melt was on talking relationships, you're here talking about culture and being a mindset, and just every day you got to go to work and set that in. It ain't going to be your scheme. It ain't going to be how you coach offense or defense, right? It's going to be how are you around kids? How are you around bringing up your wife is a great point, right? I love my wife. We have a great relationship. I want to show it off to everyone because I want those kids to learn what right looks like through us. So being Absolutely. that beacon of here's what it's supposed to look like, guys. Not that we're perfect, and we screw up all the time. I love that you said, you failed more than you succeeded, because I fail every day in my marriage, right? I screw something up. Maybe it's just not getting the dishes done. Maybe it's I don't get up and get the kids dressed in time. Whatever it is, I'm failing somewhere. My wife does not hold it over my head. We don't keep scoring. That's good, because I would lose the ball game if we were keeping score.
Right.
But kids know when they see that's what the goal is in life, whatever it is.
Right.
They might go on and be the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys, or they might never touch the ball again after high school. It don't matter. That's not what I can't teach them that. I cannot teach you genetics. I cannot teach you DNA. I can give you a few things that might help you be good at whatever you are. But in life, I think we have so much to offer.
Absolutely, man. Well, and how can you turn that into competition, right? Like you said, we don't keep score necessarily, but it's funny, like we joke, right, as husbands, I don't know what my wife wants a lot of times, but that's competition too, right? Figure her out. I've been married 23 years and I'm still trying. I've failed a lot in that world too, but
kudos for making it 23. That's rare waters.
Thank you.
In this day and age.
It is, man. And we were babes when we got married, and she's upstairs right now doing the coach's wife thing, and so it's really cool. Like you unfortunately you hear all the time, like, there's one of two coaches' wives that you're going to get, right? A good one or a next one. I would also say a former one. And unfortunately, and especially in Texas with our shortage right now, there's a lot of people getting out, And so, man, I'm just so blessed, because I don't know what else I'd do. I could not go and do anything else but coach ball.
Yeah.
And it's more than just those X's and O's. Going back to the relationships that Coach Melton hit on earlier, man, that's it for me. That's the substance. And so, as we teach competition, as we teach culture, as we teach the standard, find ways to compete within yourself. But, like, how can you win the hearts of those kiddos, right? Because those kids are going to call you when they get married. They're going to call you when they have their kid. They're going to call you when, they're competing for a job. And you can revert back to the things that you taught them through the platform of ball. I don't know any better way. So
one of the coolest text messages I've ever got was, Shannon was a kid that we took in for my very first coaching job, and we brought him into our home to try to get him a step up in life. He just needed a little help. And, all these years later, he texts me a picture of his son, his newborn son. He's like, "What's up?" Because he always called me Coach Dad.
Nice.
And now it's Coach Grandpa, right? Like,
that's awesome, man.
I got to, it feels so good to know. I hope that my coaches think the same thing when I talk about them. Like, man, I'm still a part of that guy's, what he thinks about. Like, that's just knowing you've made an impact. That's really neat.
Nothing better, man. Nothing better.
I want to change gears. I know that we've talked relationships quite a bit here. We're getting into this shortage, and we're talking about coaching shortage. Texas, y'all are like, it blows my mind. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they had the picture of the coaching wall, right? Jobs open. And there was no resumes up.
Right.
What are we doing to combat that in Texas, like over these next couple of years? Is the culture? We talk culture. Culture in my area, if you get in with the right coaches, is you don't have a family. You know what I mean? Kiss your wife goodbye, because we've got coaching to do. It's January, but by God, you better be learning how to coach.
Sure.
What are we doing to combat that as a total here?
Yeah, I got to quote Saban, and the truth of the matter is, especially in Texas and how many good coaches there are, like, it takes what it takes. I think you got to work smarter, not harder, right? Like, the analytics world is coming into play. I think to answer your question specifically, I think the association has done a really good job with a couple of different initiatives. You may or may not have seen the Rock Mentorship Program that the association started a few years ago. I was fortunate enough to be a part of that inaugural year, and then also the year after. So I did 2 sessions with them, and still to this day try to reach out to my mentees, and just check on them, make sure they're good. I think there's more to be done, but I think, our association has done a good job with that. Fortunately and unfortunately, when the politics come into play, like, I think money is a big part of it, man. Yeah. And the way inflation is just really kind of driven people away. Like, you mean to tell me I got to work that much and I'm not going to get paid what I really feel like I'm worth?
They tell you don't ever calculate the hourly, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Don't do it. That's dangerous. So I think, the combative piece, it does take what it takes, and you can't shortcut anything, right? Like, the moment you start to try to shortcut things, you're going to get fired, so then you're not really helping yourself out. But I think one of the things, like, my wife and I were talking about this the other day, like, going into year 2, the storm, right? We tried to form a solid culture and a family atmosphere in our staff. But how can we really, really tap into our people, and not only make them feel welcomed, but make sure that they know they're supported in all things, whether that's parenthood or what it looks like to be a coach and a coach's wife or coach's kids, and again, we've got 2 teenagers at home that they can also tap into that and teach our kids how to, maybe I guess in a roundabout way, become a mentor themselves.
Right.
And, take the little ones under, my offensive coordinator's got 5-year-old twins, and so there's something my 13-year-old can teach those boys, and he's probably not ready for that, but like toss him into the storm, and then I think what would happen there is just, we have a young coach on staff. His wife just got a job within our district, which is really cool. She's a nurse, and so she was working in the hospital and then went to a clinic and still was like, this is not it, and now she's going to go into the school nurse thing, and it was one of our feeders, so I was able to contact the principal, and she got the job, and she reached out to my wife the other day and just said, I'm so thankful for y'all. And so I think, that's a natural way to combat the shortage, so to speak, but it's also it's extremely important that as relationships happen and we as a staff continue to gel, that we're there for them through and through in the thickness of life, as well as, the ups and downs and all that comes with that. So, I have no doubt in my mind that the majority of the, schools in the state of Texas are doing that type of thing. One of the things I would like to see on the Hills of the Rock mentorship program, and that's kind of a recruitment process to get in, or a retainment process, but let's find a way to recruit, right? So, I served as what they call a cooperating teacher in the, student teaching world, through the university, both Texas State University, UTSA, just because that's the area. So really tapping into those education departments, reaching out to them and saying, hey man, let's get these freshmen that are coming in to these campuses as a collegiate, college student, and they may not be athletes at the moment, but they may be, interested in coaching, and how can we recruit them to our profession right now?
For sure.
So I'm recruiting a club baseball coach right now. He's 23 years old. I'm like, dude, you got to get into educational-based athletics, because he's one of the few club guys that actually teach the right things, in my opinion, when it comes to, again, productive citizens of society. I'm not here to bash the club world, the club scene. There's a lot of that missing.
Yeah.
Go watch a tournament. There's a lot of bad sportsmanship going on. And that's why the Texas way has come about, right? I don't know if you've done any research on the Texas way, but let's teach sportsmanship here, right? So get me on a soapbox there, man. Yeah.
No, that's good. And it's good that at least your association has identified the issue and is trying something. And I'm Oklahoma's not far behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just as a profession, stewards of the profession, we're getting better. Shortening hours, it's no more go home, get 3 hours sleep on Friday night and come back and be here Saturday for film, and
sure.
You're here all day and you're all day Sunday. Once again, that kiss your wife goodbye in August because it's coaching time. I feel like that's going away. And if it's not, those aren't people in my network, so I wouldn't know about it, right? Because
sure.
Those kind of people don't want to hear they're wrong. The most uncoachable people are us coaches, like you said earlier.
Man, that's so true. Not to cut you off, but think about Nick Saban, right? I quoted him earlier. It takes what it takes. I don't know that I've ever heard, and I've heard Nick Saban speak, I think 3 or 4 times now. One time was here at this clinic. Never have I heard that guy speak where he didn't mention Miss Terry. Right. And he'll do it a lot, on ESPN, right? Well, Miss Terry this, Miss Terry that, right? And that dude was a grinder, right? But he still found a way to have Miss Terry, right, giving him the business, if you will. And it's so true. How can we do what we need to do to be successful in our role, but also, like you said, not kiss our wife goodbye, for 7 months out of the year or whatever it is. And so, I think there's definitely a balance there. We got to work, especially in Texas. I'm not a big fan of, hey, work from home either. I'm really not, because it's the quality versus quantity piece, right? If I tell my staff, hey, we're not going to work on Saturday, go home, I expect them to go home and be with their wives. Well, there's a lot of coaches that say, we're not going to work on Saturday, go home and watch film, go home and break down film. And I'm like, that's dangerous in my opinion. You might as well go up there for 3 hours. Now, it doesn't have to be 6 or 7 like we used to. Go up there for 3 hours, and if your wife is like mine, she's a night owl anyway, so she sleeps until 10:30. Yeah. That's not a knock. That's just the truth.
It is what it is.
And so get up at 7 and go from 7 to 10, knowing that she'll be up at 10:30. And if your wife is a morning person, well, maybe you do stay late up. I don't know. Maybe she's already in bed the night before, right? Right. Maybe that is your Friday nights after the game, which, there's certain times where, and like on Sundays, we work on Sunday afternoons, but I want to make sure the morning is sacred for church. Let's show up at 1 o'clock, and my guys all know, like, you will be done in 4 hours. So make sure at 1 o'clock you are ready to start your game plan.
Right.
And we are cutting it off at 5. Because if we can't figure out how to game plan somebody in a matter of 4 hours after we've done what we've done on Saturday, probably another job. Exactly. So it's a quality versus quantity piece for us. We know the quantity is going to be low. It doesn't have to be, completely zero, but make sure that the quality is there. When you're present with your family, be present. Yeah. Right? Don't say I'm at home and then go do something else.
I'm guilty, especially because I've coached. I've been a lay coach last year, and then next year I will be as well. And so, the school I work for is 2 hours away. So I do the stay home. And I get caught in there, right? You're just on the computer, You're downloading film, you're statting, you're tagging. Get carried away pretty quick. So you're right.
I'm probably speaking out of turn. It's not here. She'd be like, "Oh, you work all the time," Because how do you turn it off, right? Like
you don't.
High voltage.
Yeah.
But I really I really try to be present when I'm home. It's important to me.
That's a good thing. You have to identify and then work at it, right? We're talking about plans all day and cultures and what does right look like, and that's part of it. You got to do those little things too. Yeah. Well, sweet, Adam, man. I don't want to steal too much of your time. I know you've got a bunch of fun stuff to do today. Appreciate you jumping on the podcast with us. Guys, if you haven't already, look up Ace Sports. I was just thinking while we were talking stat and film and how much time that takes. Let me get the right website. I don't want to screw this up, guys. I just looked at it. winningedgeperformanceanalytics.com. If you go over there, Coach right now has got a first-year 20% discount if you use the promo code Coaching101pod. I can't remember. I'll put the ticker on the bottom. It'll be there. Anyway, check that out. And that is going to help you tag your game while you're playing the game. So you get the analytics of it at halftime or after the third quarter or whenever you need it, going to overtime, you know what's working, what isn't. More than anything, it tags your film. You just export it, import it straight into Huddle, and now you're not spending Saturdays tagging film. It's already done. So
there you go.
The promo code's running across the bottom of the screen there. I can't remember what it is exactly. I had more things on my mind this morning. But anyway, acesports.com. If you haven't reached out about a video board, at least get a meeting. Man, I think that you'll be surprised by what they can do, the customization options, the quality of the product. We've talked already. It's farm to table, man. They manufacture the pieces. They're going to service the pieces. They're going to do their own install. Everything is in-house. There's no third party. 10-year warranty. You can't go wrong. It's a cheat code in fundraising. So jump into acesports.com. Appreciate you guys for listening to the podcast today. We will sign off now. Should be back around 11 o'clock. Thank you guys so very much, and we'll talk to you soon. What's up, coaches? I want to talk to you for just a few moments about your program. The longer I'm in this profession, the more I understand that efficiency is truly the name of the game. We're talking offense, defense, doesn't matter, right? Eventually, you're going to come down to checking out your efficiency. So I have to ask you, are you doing everything in your program the most efficient way, right? Are you fundraising the most efficient way? Are you representing your players and your program to the public in the best way? Are you planning to build the facilities the most efficient way? If you answered no to any of those, or really even if you answered yes to all of them, and you haven't contacted Mark Bridges at Ace Sports, you're missing a key step. So look, Mark and his team, they are the go-to group for video board and scoreboard installations for your school. They're not just football either. Mark can help you mock up your newest video board for that new stadium, or maybe even your old stadium, right? That's where Mark and the guys come in. And we're not just buying a flashy thing, right? Yes, it's nice. It's pretty neat to have that big scoreboard, that big video board, but you're also, you're investing back into that program. You're investing into that newest fundraiser. Sure, you can keep selling your discount cards, your beef jerky, hosting pie auctions, whatever it is that you like to do. But let's just be honest with ourselves, guys. We're not making enough money for those big ticket items. For the big ticket items like turf, an indoor facility, that's where you need a big ticket item fundraiser. That's what Ace Sports is offering you today. Guys, I've talked to Mark several times now, right? And it always comes down to big school, small school. Right? Well, of course, the big schools can afford that new video board, but the small schools really can't. It's just not true anymore, man. Your school isn't too small, and I promise. Okay, 1A, 2A schools, it doesn't matter. Mark and the guys, they're helping them out. Contact Mark today at mark.bridges@acesports.com and let him come give you a quote. Let him show you and your administration the plan. Now, really, it's the cheat code, right? Let him show you the cheat code that is fundraising with Ace Sports video boards. Tell him Daniel sent you. This episode is brought to you by Athletic Speed and Movement. At athleticspeedmovement.com, we've taken Del Basquet's 45 years of speed and movement training and put it all in one place just for you. You can get the same training that NFL players have been getting for years, collegiate players have been getting for years, and now high schools across the nation are paying thousands of dollars to bring Dell in to install his system. But we've got it online for you. It's time to help your team become faster, not just in the 40, not just their sprint speed, but between the tackles and their cuts while they're chasing down the quarterback. It's time for you to help them become faster everywhere. Jump over to athleticspeedmovement.com. There's an orange button there. Just click it. It says, get the keys to playing faster. You'll get the 3 core movement video from Dell. He's explaining the science behind it, all for just the price of your email. Check it out, athleticspeedmovement.com. Hey guys, Coach Chamberlain here, Coaching 101 Podcast. We are coming to you from the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaches School here in the great town of San Antonio, Texas. Big town.
Yes.
There's a lot going on around here. So what did you say? There's like 15,000 coaches?
Like 12 to 15,000, I think.
And along with another 10,000 vendors probably.
Yes.
So for every coach here, there's a vendor. Run and shake your hand and tell you what we do good. One of those vendors is Ace Sports. Ace Sports is... We do video boards. You see it in the background now. I know y'all have seen this before. I've been talking about it for literally years now, how they are the cheat code to fundraising. If you don't have a video board up in your stadium yet, you're missing out, number one, how cool it is for the kids. But 2, the fundraising opportunities. And we're talking big ticket item fundraising. If your school needs stadiums, if it needs turf, if it needs whatever, the video board should be your first the piece you go get, because it will bring in the money for the rest of them. Mm-hmm. Kenny Simpson is the shining example in our area, neck of the woods. He's put up 2 boards, one at different schools, Searcy, Arkansas, and then, of course, there Batesville, South Side. But the guy is in like $700,000 in the black or something after 5 years or 6 years, 7 years. Like, if you could tell me I was going to put $100,000 in your pocket every year just by putting up a video board, I don't know who wouldn't do that.
Advertisement is a huge piece of everything, and that's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Roll them through.
Yeah, it's super easy. And we've talked Ace Sports all day, and we'll continue because they're amazing. And they brought us here to San Antonio. But we're talking farm to table. They manufacture the pieces. They're going to come out and install them. They're going to service them. I was just listening to Jason's the owner, and he was over talking with another guy that has an issue with a third party that now we're 3 months out on a part. That's not how Ace does it. When their service truck shows up, every piece that they could possibly need to put on your board is coming in that truck, and they're going to have it fixed that day. That's kind of, I guess, yet another great piece of the Ace Sports promise, if you will. So it's great. So acesports.com. You can email mark.bridges@acesports.com. You can DM me, and I'll get you in the right place. Coach, let's talk ball, man.
Let's do it.
First of all, an introduction is due. I'm excited to talk ball with you. I've seen some of your cohorts, some of the guys you've coached with. So just shoot us an introduction. Who are you? Where you been?
My name is Bobby Leidner, and I am the defensive coordinator at Highland Park High School here in Texas. It's in the Dallas Metroplex. It's a historically very strong program. I've been coaching for probably 21 years. I started in DeSoto, Texas, coached 6 years there, just middle school all the way up to varsity position coach, and then came to Highland Park, and I've been there for 17 years, where I coached freshman football, I coached D-line, now the defensive coordinator, just worked my way up and worked through it. So it's a little who I am. I teach anatomy and physiology at the high school. I teach aquatic science this year is going to be new for me.
Go.
So we'll see what that's all about.
Hey, as a biology degree holder and a coach who teaches biology, I love it. Let's go.
I used to teach biology, but it's a tested subject, and so I really like the seniors. I have seniors in both anatomy and aquatic, and I like the idea of just having juniors and seniors that they get school, like they get it. They know how it works. They don't have to worry about freshmen that come in and don't know how the high school works.
Can't
and
figure it out yet,
yes,
right?
Yes. So
that's
what I like about it.
Make life a little harder on the teacher, but
no doubt.
But sometimes
not as much as for coaches, just because we're coaches. They get it. They understand how that works. But and we can always just go if they are giving you a hard time, like, well, we'll go take care of this out of football, and we'll get that fixed. So
there you go.
Yeah.
We had Coach Melton on earlier, and I know that you said that he was defense coordinator there with you or before you took over. He kind of passed the torch.
Yeah.
So big piece I want to talk today is just you've done the state championship thing, right? You got a few rings, and then kind of it's your turn to sit on the throne, right? For this DC position. What does life after that look like? Like, you won the state championship. He moved off and became a head coach. Now it's your turn. How'd that work?
Well, so we won. We actually won state championship in 2016, 2017, and 2018. And in 16 and 17, the defensive coordinator, his name was Don Woods, and he's now the defensive coordinator at Dallas Jesuit. And he's who gave me my first start in Highland Park as a position coach, as a D-line coach. So working for him, I owe a lot of my success and what the ability I've had to move up to him, because he taught us things like, well, how to teach the game and teach defensive football the right way with stuff that we still use today. Like we go through stance, alignment, keys, responsibility, technique, and drills, and that's how we teach defensive football. Like that's what we do. And then he put an emphasis on being the best tackling team in Texas. So we do tackle circuit every Monday, earning the right to make a play by getting off blocks, and that's our block destruction circuit that we do every Tuesday. So instead of relying on each position coach to work tackling and block destruction in their own individual time, we do circuits so that, because everybody's got to be able to do it. And so
right.
I learned that from him. And then when he left, Cale took over and just kind of continued it. And he brought what Cale brought to it. He was the inside linebackers coach at the time. What he brought was a pressure mentality. And so really bringing pressure and some of the stuff that he does, that we learned and that we do, or that we still do, is just lots of pressure with putting pressure on a high school quarterback, and in tons of different ways. And so learned kind of that from him. And then we won it, like I said, 2016, 2017, we won the state championship with Don as the DC. 2018, we won it with Cale as the DC. The next year, I think we ended up losing in the third round, I believe. And then that's when Cale got the head position. And so that next year was my opportunity. Coach Allen moved us up, made me the defense coordinator, but that was COVID. And so
everybody's favorite year.
We had a great time learning how to have meetings online and figuring out how we're going to practice at distance. And
6 feet between everybody.
Wear your mask and all this stuff. So that was my first year as a defensive coordinator. So that was a lot of fun. But it was good. Like it was learning, and I think every year, first off, I'm really blessed with a great staff, and so every year we learn something different. The last year was our first year back in 5A. We had been in 6A, the largest classification, the 2 previous years, and played 2 killer teams. Denton Geyer, who was loaded. They're always loaded. They were really good, and they beat us. We played South Lake the next year. Same thing. They're loaded. They're always loaded. They're really good, and they beat us. But like those instances were like really good learning experiences for us as a staff, for our players, and for our program. That, you know, you talked about coming out of a state championship years. Well, like there's some of those years the first 2 years we were really base defense driven. In 18 we were blitz pressure driven, but like being able to mesh all of that together and learning what our kids do well and just kind of how to do that. That's what I think we've learned the most of. And last year we had the opportunity. We had a really good defense. We got a chance to play in the state championship. We unfortunately didn't win it. We ran into Smithson Valley, which is here in the San Antonio area, and they were really good, a really good program. They played their absolute best game. They got us, and they earned every bit of it. Like it was a great game, but unfortunately we just didn't come out on top. But we're back in the state championship, and I'm hoping that we can do the same this next year. So
what was it like trying to fill those shoes? So I mean, obviously a three-peat is pretty big.
Yes.
And I have never coached in Texas, but I understand what Texas football is, a machine. It'll grind you up, right?
Yes.
So to get there and be successful 3 years in a row, did you feel the pressure of that when you took over as the DC? Was it like, man, we've got to go win another one?
Well, I don't know.
You had the off year, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't feel like the pressure. It's the pressure to. I don't feel the pressure that like, hey, we've got to go win another one, because for our kids and our program, the expectation, it's the expectation every year. So like, yes, that pressure is there, but like our kids, that's their expectation, is it's state championship or bust, like every year. And so so that pressure's always there, but it's not something that I guess I don't feel it as pressure, because it's ingrained in our kids, like that's what we're trying to do. And so like when our senior class graduates the next year, that's their goal. It's the state championship. And each year when our captains and player committee go out and put their goals on the board, that's the top goal, is a state championship. And so we play for he's a few 30, maybe 30 wins away from being the winningest coach in Texas high school history, Randy Allen. And our kids, that we've won 6 state championships at Highland Park over the course of its existence, 100-year existence, 100 plus. And it's the winningest program in the state of Texas. And so I think that any pressure is already there. So right. I've just already, like, I'm used to it. Like, it's just kind of how it is.
It's in this world where, and I am the like shining example of like, I'll go to another school. I chase knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to coach with great coaches. I want to learn something new. This will be my 6th season. It'll be my first time to repeat a season at a school. Then I'll be with Bristow there in Oklahoma. But it is a time where, like, just being, you said you've been there 17 years, right? Is that right? At Highland Park. And so to be there and see it stay so consistent, I'm sure that helps. Like, but you're already ingrained in, like, it's championship or bust.
No doubt. And that's, it's a tribute to our community. Like, our community is great. The parents are great. The kids are great. But it's a tradition of excellence, and it doesn't matter in what it is. In education, it's a battle to be that valedictorian or salutatorian, and they're fighting for every grade point, and it's competition. And then
I love it.
Whether it's if it's football or cheerleading or band, like our community is like, they want to be the best at everything, and so it's already there, like that.
I love it.
All
right, let's talk X's and O's, Coach. I ain't got to talk any X's and O's today.
Okay.
Odd front, even front.
We're an odd front. We base out of a 3-4, but we are really multiple. We run a little bit of everything.
I think if you're an odd front, you have to be multiple, because when they go too tight, what are you going to do?
That's right.
You're not odd front anymore.
You're not odd front.
I guess you can bring 5 down.
Yes.
But you're not going to be a 3 front anymore.
Right. We run a little bit of everything. I took some of the Melton pressure. We do bring a lot of pressure. I think it's important to put pressure on a high school quarterback and have somebody like make a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid try and beat you. We do run a lot of man-free concepts, probably, which has been a change for us. I mentioned that we lost to Denton Geyer 3 years ago. And we learned a lot about us in there. We can't sit in. We used to run. We still do. We call it our blue coverage, which is just read 2. We ran a lot of that, and then we would roll 3 a lot, but because we're a too high safety look. But
it's like the perfect defense, Coach.
Yeah, I know.
Read 2.
It is. It's
roll 3.
Yeah.
All out of a too high shell, odd front. That's what dreams are made of.
I agree, and it has been really great. We won a state championship in 2016 just running our base defense, but we had some really good players that did it. But the game is evolving and the game is changing. The offenses are always figuring you out.
It's a stinking arms race.
It really is. And Den Geyer had Jackson Arnold at quarterback, who I think he's still at OU, I believe.
He went to Auburn, I think.
Okay, well,
something.
Went somewhere else, but the kid never missed a throw, and it was a slow RPO read that he just sat there and made our OB's life hell. Like, it was like, is he going to hand it? Is he going to throw it? And he never missed a throw. I think he went probably 20 for 21 on the day. And I knew we were in trouble when early in the first quarter, our OB like batted a ball down or batted a ball up, and it ended up right in the receiver's hands. And I was like, well, that's going to be one of those days I see. And so like they beat us. We gave them all we had, but in that game we learned a lot. Like we can't just sit in that and cover 3. And we evolved. We run a lot more man free now, with the ability to do some of that other stuff. And we're really, really multiple.
I think multiple defense, because offensive have gotten so multiple, right?
Yeah.
The systems where I'm at,
Yeah.
It all is kind of revolving out of that Bixby system, the tree, Tyler Snyder up there, who's came on the show before. Everyone's trying to run some version of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that isn't, like, the NFL's not listening to what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, college coaches are trying to take what he's doing.
Right.
Or some variation of it. And other guys are doing it too. I'm not saying that Tyler invented offense or anything, but that I'm going to run. I'll be in 22 personnel, I'll be in 23 personnel, I'll be in 10 personnel, and it might be the same kids on the field, and they're all really good. And what are you going to do to stop it?
Yes.
And now your kid has to think on the fly, oh, by the way, it's a shift and a motion from 22 to 10 personnel. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Kid just moving around, flying. Defense has got to be multiple nowadays.
No doubt. When somebody can do that, if you can do that all with the personnel that's on the field and be effective in all of it, I think that's the hardest thing as a coordinator that we have to prepare for, especially if you're getting motions and going from an empty set to a double tight set. And now you're like, what the heck? Like, you can't bring personnel groupings on and off because those guys are going to be the same guys that are out there. You're just going to get a different look. We've got to be able to put our kids, give them a shot in those situations.
Podcasting has put me at a couple different camps in life with football, and kind of the main thing is like simplicity wins, right? If you can remain simple, your kids can learn it, they can fly around, play fast football, and they're going to win. But there's other pieces of my camp are predatory offenses, and they're like, by all means, go out and set and cover 3 all night long. Be basic, be simple. Please do.
Yes.
Because we're going to do things to make your kids have to talk. They want to be simple, and we're not going to let them be. Now what are you going to do? So where are you at defensively on the keep it simple, and then maybe we are going to have to tag the crap out of this. So where do you fall?
In the middle. A little bit of both, to be honest. With Don Woods, my first defensive coordinator that I was working for in Highland Park, or really, he was a second. The first one I had my position coach wings under. He always said football is easy. You got to get off a block, you got to make a tackle. It doesn't matter what I draw on the board. At the end of the day, it's your job as the defender to get off a block and then go make a play. So, which he really believed, like we could sit in our base defense, 3-4, read 2, and just stay in that defense the entire time. But at the end of the day, it was the kid's responsibility to earn the right to make a play, getting off a block, and then go make a tackle when you do it. And I still preach that to our kids even now. But I do think, too, there's an aspect of there are things that we can do to help put you in a better situation. And be it through our football film study and everything to know what is it that you're doing in that, in that formation to help you be successful on the field. So I think it's a mix. I will preach to our kids, you've got to earn the right to make a play, and you got to go make a tackle at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what I write on the board. Like I can be the biggest pencil whipping guru on the board, but if you can't do your part, doesn't matter. And which is why we do believe in doing those circuits every Monday tackle circuit, every Tuesday block striking circuit, because not only does that make our ones better, but that makes our special teams better. It makes our 3s and 4s better when we want to have we want to keep a goose egg in a shutout and we're killing somebody. Well, those 3s and 4s that are in there, they got to be able to get off a block and make a play. They don't need to know our big scheme for we should be able to sit in some base things, but those guys need to be able to get off blocks and make plays to keep that shutout intact. But like I said, it helps our special teams units and all that. So I'm a believer in that part of it. But I feel like because offenses are so different and they do so many different things, we've got to be able to adjust to that and have some of that. If not a check with the kids, us be able to recognize as coaches to help them be successful. And maybe in the course of a game, they may throw something out there that we hadn't seen that year, or see them do that up to that point. And being able to make those adjustments on the fly, which I feel really blessed that the coaches that I have on staff that help us out, they're really good seeing those things and then having the adjustments to be made so that if we ever got in that situation, we get that fixed really quickly.
Absolutely.
I remember in 2020, my first year as a defensive coordinator, we had a really, our defense was solid. Our especially in the middle of the defense in the front. In the middle of a drive, we were playing Longview, who, if you know anything about Longview football, they are smash mouth. They're a power in Texas football. Coach King does a great job every year, and we're in the middle of a drive, and they had jumped in something that we hadn't seen them do all year, and they were driving. They were getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop, but for Longview, that's perfect. That's all we need. And it was bang, 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 bang. They were just going down the field. And in the box, I got a call that said, "Hey, we need to be over on this side, solid on that side." And I just I'm like, "You're right." I was able to holler at our kids, "Hey, to the tight end, we want to be in over. Away from it, we want to be in solid." And the kids were like, "Okay." And they they just tell them something random in the course of a drive, and they got it done, and we stopped them. We got them on the sideline, be able to talk it through. But our kids are able to do that. They're able to understand football, and I feel like that's because our coaches prepare them well enough to get to that point.
A good coach, box coach, a guy up in the box is worth their weight in gold.
Oh,
right?
100%. 100%. We got a bunch of them.
One of my favorite coaching things I ever did, I was in my third year, and I was in the box for a team, and I literally took out a piece of paper and drew what they were same thing. Yeah. I drew and what we need to line up, and I screenshotted it. We had huddle sideline.
Yeah.
So I took our iPad, I screenshot or took a video, and it showed up as a play. It's just you got to have a guy up there that can think like that.
If
right?
somebody can do that and be able to be on the same wavelength, so in Texas we couldn't do that.
Right.
We got to be able to talk it through, and to have somebody that's up in the box that can say what we need to do, or see what they're doing, write it out, and then be able to vocalize me to be able to say, all right, draw this up, this is how we need to do it, or just be able to say it's this and this, or whatever the combination of the coverage or whatever it is, the situation is. But somebody to recognize it, but then for me and you to be able to say wavelength in the communication piece is huge.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, Coach, I don't want to keep you all day. I got one more question.
Okay.
I saw collegiate football, they're going to stop stimming on the D-line. What does that do to you? I know y'all are collegiate rules down here in Texas, right? So
we are.
Is that officially in effect for you, or does it wait a year?
No, I'm pretty sure it's in effect for us. I used to love to do it, and when Kirby Smart came on and showed video, hey, this is why we do it, and it's to try and get the offense to jump. I'm like, yeah, that's why we do it too. Especially if I knew you were going to hard count us, and intentionally, we would do it. We had a different call that was for us to stem a movement to try and get that free play. That's what they're trying to do. Well, our kids know, if I know you're hard counting us, we would do the same thing and move on the hit to try and make you think that we were jumping off sides, even though we were moving
sideways,
laterally.
Yeah.
Get you to snap the ball and then try and take that shot that our kids were ready for. So I don't know. We've gone away from it in the last couple of years, anyways, because it was the officials' discretion, and we would move and they would call it on us for whatever the verbiage is. It's intentional, us intentionally trying to get the offensive jump. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
No, I'm changing I want to make him talk. I'm going to be in a different gap, right?
Well, which is what I pregame. I would ask the officials, what can I say that's going to make our guys move? Because we want to move to a different technique. We're not trying to. I would say we're not trying to get them to jump. We're trying to move to a different technique. What is it that we can actually say? And we'd get all kinds of variety of things. And sure enough, we'd get in the game and we'd say it, and then they'd throw the flag and it'd be on us. And it got to the point where it wasn't worth working, because we're going to run it once in a game, maybe twice, and then because the first time we might get away with it, but the second time we run it, they're going to be like, oh, your linebacker jabbed his foot, or
simulated the snap.
Yes, and
BS.
I was like,
yeah.
well, like, what do you want him to do? Like, he's trying to get out of there. The last couple years, we've gone away from it anyways, just because it's been more headache than it has been anything else. I loved it. I love doing it. I think it is a defensive tool that we have when in an offensive game, and that's all this is doing, is it's making our offense, or the offenses,
like their job wasn't easy enough.
Right.
Making it easier.
Right. They're just making it even easier on them to be able to.
I did a video series. We went through the whole rule book with Mike D, the referee, which is a guy out of Jersey. He's a referee and former football coach. Mm-hmm. And it almost, you can always tie everything back to like deception. If you're deceiving the other team, that's a penalty, right?
Yes.
So that was always, it was good for me to go through the playbook with him and realize, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If the ref says, I think you're trying to deceive your opponent, it's illegal.
It's to his discretion anyways.
Right, and then we always laugh about triple option football. Like, is that not the ultimate deception tool? Like,
that's all right. That's exactly right.
3 people are carrying the ball at once. Yeah. What are we doing? But anyway,
offenses get away with everything.
That's
like,
right.
They can get away with all of it. So we've come to find, like, that's just the way. That's the way of the world. We gotta just try and stop them.
There we go. Coach, man, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
I know you've got
Absolutely.
other stuff to do today. I'll let you go. Guys, these episodes will come out in about the next month or so as we chop them up. Be our Thursday releases. I highly recommend you guys go back and listen to all these. We've had some elite coaches on this morning. You talked. I think it was you that said, "What is elite?" Adam Harvey on earlier.
Adam's great.
We had Kel on this morning for our first guest. Coach Bush, I think we're going to try to get back on later today. Just some elite coaches down here. So I'm blessed to have you guys on the show. Get to talk a little bit of ball. Thanks for breaking in the X's and O's with me.
Absolutely.
If you haven't already, reach out to Ace Sports. It's Mark Bridges will be the best contact. Mark.bridges@acesports.com. By all means, DM me, email me, whatever. Go back and listen to the episode. He dropped his phone number if you want to text Mark directly. I realize right now my camera got bumped. Apparently, I am way off screen. But acesports.com, great place to get started. Help really. Man, you can hack your fundraising. Okay, it is the ultimate cheat code in fundraising. So get on there, get it, celebrate your kids. Let's see what we can't do for you. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see y'all. Should be around 12 o'clock going back live.
Thank you.